Ladies and gents, this is update 2.3 for Cyberpunk. It doesn't currently have a release date, but this is what it gets in terms of content, so then you don't have to go through the whole patch notes to understand what it is. Basically, we're gonna get 4 new vehicles, 3 of which we're gonna get via some new side jobs. Also, we get an auto drive and the self-driving Delamain cabs feature, and the Rayfield Crystal Code also gets an upgrade with even more cosmetic options for even more vehicles than before, including for bikes, plus many more under the hood, including more changes to the photo mode with new NPCs and many more options, including controlling lightning, weather, and time of day. So without further ado, let's check the patch notes. What? They don't even have a release date for that, which is really interesting. I thought it would be right after the stream ends, but no, we're not actually getting it even today or tomorrow, maybe even not this week. Who knows? And specifically, update 2.3 also brings Cyberpunk 2077 to a whole new platform, which is, of course, Mac, so we're not gonna stay too much on that. We also have a bit of a gameplay about that. But here are the 4 new vehicles, some of which we've also seen, of course, in the stream. We got the Yaiba Semimaru, which is rewarded to you from completing a new job. So it's not just the vehicle you get, there's also a job. To unlock that, you need to complete the hunt and the beast in me. So both the drive, the races, as well as River's questline as well. An additional side job unlocks the Crystal Code feature for it. Then we have the Rayfield Mordred, which is a new caliber and basically rewarded from a new side job. To unlock this, you need to again complete that the Beast in Me Badlands, the Beast in Me. Well, basically you need to go pretty far into that. Plus transmission and search and destroy, which I'm pretty sure is right at the end of the quest chain for the racing. Yaiba Muramasa, which I believe this is the bike, rewarded from a new side job. To unlock this, you need to purchase just any Yaiba vehicle. After you purchase one, at least, actually no, you have to purchase at least 3 vehicles through the auto fixer and also complete the reported crime You Play with Fire. If you fail the side job, the vehicle can later be purchased through the auto fixer, so that is also good to know. And then there's also the civilian Legatus Aquila, which is available right away to purchase at Autofixer. This is, I believe, the truck. So this is the only vehicle you can go ahead and just grab right away. We also have the auto... What else do we have? We have the auto drive right here. So this is the cutting edge autonomous driving feature that will take you to your chosen destination, i.e. a job objective or placed pin on the map. They already talked about that before. If you place a pin either to a mission objective or if you just place a pin, it's going to actually drive you over there, and V is going to take this Eastern European relaxed sidearm stance basically. We do that in Romania as well. It's not just in Poland, by the way. You're going to see a lot of Eastern Europeans and Central European dudes doing exactly the same, especially cab drivers. So that's going to be one of the things, but if you don't have a pin or a marker from a mission, for example, it's just going to endlessly drive you through Night City. That's what it's going to do, which is pretty nice. Again, like I said, if, for example, you want to go grab a drink, take a bathroom break, but don't want to make the game stop or be in one location. Also implemented cinematic camera for the auto drive, kind of like in GTA San Andreas, and I guess also like pretty much any GTA since 3, except that it's going to trigger automatically as you drive automatically, so pretty nice. Exciting one, I would say, is the Delamain self-driving cabs feature. Now you can simply just open the menu, call vehicles, and then select Delamain cab from the list to request a ride. We even saw it with a purple outlook over there. So this feature unlocks after completing the job. Don't lose your mind regardless of the outcome, and receiving a message from Delamain afterwards. Also, the Rayfield's Crystal Code is now available for vehicles from partner brands, including motorcycles. Another thing they touched about that, we can now also change the coatings on the bikes too. Additionally, the infamous hacker known as Cosmetic Troll exploited a vulnerability and created a cracked version of this technology for lower end vehicles. So they explained this. Yeah, it's not all the vehicles, it's a lot more vehicles that will feature the crystal codes, but for example the Badlands and like the Nomad vehicles will not feature this. Though I will add, it would have been nice if they added a GTA style garage repaint feature. I'm surprised that doesn't exist in the future. Also fixed an issue where unique color schemes did not work properly on some of the Xions. Fixed an issue where unique color schemes could not be properly applied to the Vile Force, Vindicator basically. Also, all of the changes to the photo mode, we can see them right here. They added 27 new NPCs that you can spawn in the photo mode, including Rita, for all of you who like that character. Wheeler, the Castle Twins, I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love them in Phantom Liberty. So yeah, I kind of have a thing for the guy's sister. I forgot her name basically, but yeah. The Iguana, Brandon, and more. You can now switch between alternative outfits for NPCs spawned in photo mode, like we saw for Rita. They changed that as well. Is Rita her name? I forgot. Probably that's Rita. I misremember stuff, so like, be gentle. You can also now switch between these saved wardrobe outfits in photo mode, which is a really nice quality of life. Added a confirmation pop-up when exiting photo mode to prevent accidental exits after setting up the perfect shot. Absolutely nice. And also added more customization options. Look at the camera features, including options for only the character's eyes to turn towards the camera and whatnot. On top of the fact that they also added control for the weather and the time of day. Yeah, added new time of day weather tab, which pretty much includes rain, acid rain, fog, sandstorm, pollution, and sunny. Exactly the ones already in the game. Time of day, self-explanatory. Also, frame forward advances through an unlimited number of frames to capture the perfect shot. This is a game changer for screen archery, but I'm sure a lot of you guys will not care about this because you're not spending hours upon hours in photo mode. And game speed allows in-game time to progress while in photo mode, which is also pretty nice. But let's check out some of the other changes. The patch is actually quite big. So we have quality of life and accessibility. The game will now detect if the player is using inverted mouse button settings and automatically adjusts in-game button prompts accordingly. Also added an option to toggle aiming down sights in settings control. Like, chat, what's your opinion on this? Did you ever play with inverted controls? Do you even care about toggle aims? I have never changed the default settings, so I just play exactly how I did day one. Also, jobs and open world. Cyber Psycho citing bloody ritual. The crack of the ritualist shard objective now properly disappears from the journal after completing the objective. Also, the smacks on wheels now properly appears in the journal after receiving the message from Jake Esteves. Shot by both sides fixed an issue where selecting a specific dialogue option in the conversation with Bree created a nameless, iconless item in the player inventory. Shot by both sides again fixed an issue. Basically, just fixed an issue with a bunch of the button prompts. That's basically what you get. In terms of the gameplay, let's see it. Fixed an issue where when using the controller in Trauma Drama, the controllable character would default to shooting upwards instead of forwards. Okay. Players can now drop more cyberware capacity shards if some... Wait. Players can now drop more cyberware capacity shards if some within the intended drop limit were previously missed. Wait, what? Why is this so difficult to comprehend? Players can now drop more cyberware capacity shards if some within the intended drop limit were previously missed. So, was there any bug in which you could not get all of the capacity shards, so you would lose out on increasing that max cyber capacity? Is that... am I reading it correctly, chat? Okay, so it's that. Good to note. Fixed an issue causing automatic weapons to fire slower than intended. Okay, fixed an issue where the official Barghest Tech Vest didn't drop from the scripted airdrop as intended. Also, level 60 engineer perk no longer activates the EMP blast outside of combat after entering a vehicle. There it is. This literally happened to me today. So I blasted, I'm not gonna lie, I blasted a few innocent bystanders, and it was because of that. The EMP, though I kind of wish we kept this bug because it was hilarious. Also added an option to replay the gameplay tutorial at any time via settings control. The replay the gameplay tutorial. Oh, it's just the tutorial. I almost had a mini heart attack that we can do some replay mission feature, but no, that's not it. Miscellaneous section, we added an option to tell Johnny to go away after you look at him for a short while. When he appears in the passenger seat, he takes the hint and disappears as a passenger for a couple of days. I would never ever dare to do that. Fixed an issue where the sound of V's radio port could be randomly interrupted by the radio ports of nearby NPCs. Fixed an issue where History by Gazelle Twin and Trash Generation played too loudly compared to other songs on the radio. Improved the HDR setting screen, fixed HDR calibration preview so it correctly reflects the chosen settings, and clarified the description of the tone mapping midpoint settings. Furthermore, updated the end user license agreement, fixed several visual issues with missing clipping and floating textures. If there were even any left, that's nice to have a confirmation of. Fixed several location issues in various languages. Yeah. At least they had the opportunity to adapt user modifications and integrate them into the game. So, yeah. In terms of console specific, we do have a few, but PC gets a lot of changes. So here's what they added. They talked about the AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution 4, which is compatible with AMD GPUs. But important to note is that will not be available in game until the supporting AMD driver is installed, like how they said in the stream. Also for Fidelity FX Super 3.1 for compatible hardware, it can now be used with any upscaler. Added support for the Intel. All of these namings over here, the frame generation available if you play on Intel. I'm not sure who does, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Also added support for HDR10 Plus gaming, for which you need certified Intel GPUs. To enable this feature, you need to basically have a display to support this technology and have game mode enabled. And it can be toggled under settings in the videos tab. Another one, fixed an issue with DLSS Super Resolution preset would invisibly revert from the CNN model to the Transformer model after restarting the game. Added more detailed information on the DLSS Super Resolution presets. So I'm pretty sure that this is like the new DLSS version, better than the Transformer or vice versa. Like one of them tells you the prompt in the game, which one is the newer one and the better option. Even better at preventing ghosting and some of the other issues present from DLSS. Though I'm not using DLSS on my 4090, so if you do, you're going to see some improvements. Increase maximum save size from 12 megabytes to 15 megabytes. This is actually pretty good because, you know, save modded saves. Like, have they fixed this a while ago? Do you remember in Cyberpunk 1.0 when Cyberpunk mod saves would end up being a gigabyte in size? Those were some nice times, but it was only for a brief moment. But maybe this means no more, I don't know, crashes unexpectedly, or maybe even the possibility of, I don't know, going more crazy with the mods. It will now be possible to rebind the key used to jump out of a vehicle with a stun jock perk. Thank God, because I always freaking mess it up. And also console specific, they just added a variable refresh rate for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, and they fixed an issue where foliage was not properly affected by weather conditions on the PS5. And that is the conclusion of patch 2.3. It's not the biggest, it may not be the hypiest, it may not even have the features you requested, but it's free, and I guess it helps them promote the franchise a bit better and lets them fund edge runners better. If that is the end result, I am more than glad of going even with patches like these. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't want to see more car updates in the future, but I appreciate a good looking vehicle. We saw them from the trailers, and I can always appreciate, you know, games getting free updates even 5 years after release. So again, chat, let me know down below in the comments. I'm seeing a lot of L's and I've seen a lot of disappointments in the chat as well, but I'm seeing that 52% of the guys responding, of the almost like 800 votes we have, 700 plus votes, 52% of them will replay Cyberpunk 2077 as a result of update 2.3, or would have replayed the game anyway, but the update enticed them just a little bit more. New Game Plus, that would have been nice indeed. But like I said, New Game Plus and third-person camera, don't expect them. So many millions of people asked them about New Game Plus and third-person camera in the past, and they absolutely said, hell no, this is what you get, this is how it is. We may think about it, but then they came in with Cyberpunk sequel and said, it's going to also be in first person.